See, this is why I wish YouTube would stop rewarding creators that use AI. But anyways, let me just get right into this video because I have a lot to say. So there's this YouTuber that uses AI thumbnails and clickbait titles to rile people up that are not even from New York City, about New York City. And you have a bunch of people just clutching their pearls that are from bumfuck nowhere being like, oh, well, I'm so glad I don't live in New York City. Like, honey, you could not even survive living here if you tried. So it's a good thing you don't live here. And I just wish people would be more, I don't know, I guess, wise when it comes to the content that they're watching. Because honestly, if you want a realistic point of view about New York City, just watch my videos or just watch any other content creators' videos. But this person, they are using AI thumbnails about events that never even happened and using clickbait titles that are just over exaggerated or are just meant to cause hysteria. And like, sure, I agree. New York City has many problems at the moment, and we have many issues going on. But that does not mean that it's like the end of the world or Venezuela here right now. Like, it's not that bad. And like, if statistically you want to talk about crime, just compare crime to New York City now versus in the 80s or 90s or even the 70s. Like, it's not as bad. Sure, there's a lot of crime going on in the subways and there's been an uptick in crime in public transportation, but it is not the end of the world that you're seeing on YouTube. And I don't know where this like trend to bash New York City over, you know, exaggerated events came from. I think this kind of became like a political thing, and I'm just asking you, stop. Enough. Quit it. Stop consuming these channels that are only feeding mass hysteria and spreading disinformation about New York City. Like, yes, I admit again, there are problems in this city. There's a homelessness crisis, a housing crisis. There's a lot of social dilemmas going on, but it is not where it is like basically a third world country. And my biggest question is, if it's so bad here, if it's like a war zone here, then why do those content creators stay here to keep making those videos? Why wouldn't they leave and go somewhere else that is giving them more peace of mind? Like, I don't know if you guys are watching those type of videos as like entertainment or to feel good about yourselves or just justify the fact that you could never live in New York City if you tried. But honestly, you need to do something better with your time, because that is just unproductive and a waste of your time. And it really bothers me that YouTube rewards this kind of mess, because it's just causing these type of creators to make more of these mass hysteria videos, more of these videos that just rile people up to be more anti-immigrant and anti-whatever. And like, I'm not even a political person, and I can see through the agenda and the bias of these videos. Again, yes, New York City has many problems. I'm telling you this as a New Yorker that's lived here my whole life. But relatively, it is not nowhere near where they're pumping you out to believe on YouTube channels and so forth. Like, these channels are just over-exaggerating and wanting to create hysteria so they can keep getting more views and making more money and getting more clicks and so forth. And you keep falling for that. Like, a lot of New York City's problems could be solved with just better politicians on both sides of the aisle, both right and left. And like, if we just had something like a vacancy tax, we could fix our housing crisis. If we just had people that actually lived in New York City and grew up in this city, we could have more people that can relate to the city's problems. But we don't. A lot of the issues that we have in the city is due to shitty policies made by shitty politicians, okay? And that's just the honest truth. It is not so much inherently that the city itself is naturally cursed or bad or whatever. It's the fact that people running things are ineffective. And my point is just to say that if you do not live in New York City, you do not know what it's truly like here. Don't think that you know about New York City and what life is like here just because you watched a YouTube video and be like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not in that city. Look how they live over here. Migrants are running the city. No, that is not based in reality. Like, yes, we did have a mass influx of migrants, and the mayor did a terrible job of effectively, you know, fixing it or addressing it, and basically spent all this money and is now backtracking all of his decisions and all of these other things. Like, yes, that all happened. But again, that's because of the mayor and his ineffective administration. This is not something that's inherent to the city. So please, if you're not from here, if you're from the middle of nowhere, don't think that you're an expert on New York City just because you saw a couple of videos that drag or bash New York City about problems that are not even based in reality. These type of creators are using AI thumbnails and AI content and using clickbait titles to get you to click those videos and watch them and then be all like, oh, New York City is going downhill. Oh, it's a scary boogeyman. Like, really, it's giving 60s housewives that are bored watching true crime shows just so they can have some some entertainment or an escape or feel better about their boring lives and where they live. Because trust me, a lot of you bashing New York City, they're not even from here, could not even handle or survive living here. If I'm a native born and raised here that's struggling and can barely make it, you most definitely cannot, okay? And feel free to prove me wrong. But if you're not from this city, you don't know the experience. You don't know the New York City experience. And if you want a realistic, non-biased point of view, I'm right here, okay? I'm a fellow native New Yorker, and unlike those YouTubers, I'm actually speaking about my lived experience every single day in this city. And no, it is not that bad. When I was a child, my neighborhood was much more dangerous than it is now. Actually, when I was like 6 years old, a bullet hit our bedroom window, and that was scary as hell. I used to hear gunshots all the time in the middle of the night. People used to get murdered on my street. Like, it used to be really bad here 25 years ago. And now, it's not like that anymore. And sure, there is still crime happening in the city. I'm not saying that the city is a safe haven or a utopia now, but do not buy into this hysteria, these hysterics and over-exaggeration or yellow journalism just to get you riled up. Like, really? If it's so bad here, then why do those creators stay making those videos? Because it makes them money and they know that you'll fall for it and you'll click it, okay? And it's just really annoying to see all these people that are not even from here speaking over New York City or about New York City like they know anything about this city. You do not know the city unless you lived here, and lived here for years too, not a couple of months, not here on a tourist visit. I'm talking about lived, breathed, and hustled in this city. So basically, just stop falling for the fear-mongering. Like, we're already divided enough. We already live in a society and in a modern world that's already divided enough. The news cycle is full of hysteria and panic and drama, and these YouTubers are not helping it. But they don't care. They don't care about your mental health. They don't care about anything being real or truthful anymore. They just want those clicks for those views for that revenue. Like, stop digesting the propaganda for once. If New York City was truly that bad, you'd hear a lot more negative news about it than some niche YouTuber that's just making content solely on this topic. Like I said, if you want more balanced view on New York City and life here, just watch my videos because I will talk about tons of things and topics that are relevant and related to New York City. That's the whole reason why I made this channel. Don't fall for those clickbait titles and those AI-generated thumbnails of things that are not even happening here. Like, I once saw this creator make a title of migrants and then it was like a war zone. It almost looked like Iraq or Syria, and it was like just rubble everywhere and like army soldiers in the street with rifles. That's not reality in New York City. Like, this is not Venezuela or whatever. Like, please stop falling and watching these content creators that are only there to make a buck and over exaggerating these news and events that are going on. New York City is not an unsalvageable shithole, and it's way better than it used to be when it comes to handling and dealing with crime. Are there problems here? Of course, every city has problems. Do we need a lot of work? Yes, we do. We have a lot to work on and catch up on. Are there crises going on? Yes, we have a homeless crisis, a housing crisis. You know, the prices of things are exaggerated. We have a lot of problems here. But just don't fall for these type of videos of migrants running the city, or, you know, like the US Army like taking people hostage in New York. What? This is like not even based in reality. Stop watching these videos and thinking you know everything from them, okay? These type of content creators and YouTubers just want to get more views, more popularity, and you're feeding them. And I also blame YouTube partly because the algorithm is pumping these videos out to them, and these are AI generated thumbnails, and instead of promoting actual New Yorkers and people who are actually living here and speaking honestly about their experience, they're instead favoring these type of AI generated content that serve no purpose other than to spread disinformation and mass hysteria. Like, trust me, New York City has a lot of problems, and I'm the first one to tell you, but let's be realistic about it and not fall for the drama. Alright, I really needed to get that out of my chest because I was tired of seeing these type of videos pop up on my feed of New York City being a war zone or in the middle of World War III. Like, what? Like, this is just not true and not based in reality. But anyways, if you liked this video, please subscribe if you haven't yet, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.